It's movie time with John DeSando and his friends online. So everything is gonna be just fine. From the top down to the bottom. He's gonna let you know if you should stay home or if you should go. Might even yell if it's a spectacle. From San Francisco to Long Island. 'Cause nothing's better than a motion video.
It's Movie Time is produced and hosted by John DeSando. Listen to broadcast shows Fridays at 4:01 and 8:01 p.m. Read reviews and listen to shows online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando,
And I'm Mary Yerina.
and this is It's Movie Time. Mary, in my much younger days, I was an auctioneer.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and frequently we had objects that just made you scratch your head. Should have been $5, came out 50, 100. But that's because of sentimental value. And that's pretty much, well, that's the title of our movie today.
It is the title of our
Set
movie.
it up, Mary.
Well, we have a famous movie director father who is estranged from his now two adult daughters, Agnes and Nora. And upon the death of their mother, he comes back to the funeral, but also with a desire to reconnect. And this is a film that was co-written by Joachim Trier, who is Norwegian. And the film is in Norwegian with some English, but we basically explore with him this family, the family dynamic, all of the messiness of life, but yet what do we hold dear, i.e. sentimental value, and what's worth keeping versus what's worth getting rid of.
I'm so impressed with the lead, Stellan Skarsgård, the dad.
Who plays Gustav Borg.
Yes, the director. He's just as imperious as I would have thought an acclaimed but aging director would be.
Who's hasn't produced anything for a while.
Right.
Is somewhat, still desires to be creative and known, but hasn't been hitting the mark, so to speak, of late.
So if he comes back, he actually writes a screenplay about his daughter and some of his wife. He thinks he can not only capitalize on that, get to that, and he can also connect again, which is not his primary motive. To connect, is this guy cold and aloof or what?
It's hard to say because, in an interview with Trier, he spoke about how when he was writing this script, the character of Gustav was really not a nice guy. But they decided in order for it to work with regards to, you can immediately see why the relationship with the daughters soured. But, they are a family. There is a foundation there. It might be love there worth recapturing. And so they needed to cast someone who was likable. And he had never worked with Skarsgård before, but he set up a meeting with him in Sweden where Skarsgård lives, and basically begged him to take the role. And it's funny because in a subsequent interview with Skarsgård said, I immediately loved the script and was going to take the role, but I had to make Trier work for it.
Oh, he did? I know he did.
But he does make him likable. You can see why Rachel Kemp, who's played by Elle Fanning, she's the American actress who's young, up and coming, has become famous and clearly successful. She takes the lead role in this film that he's written when his daughter refuses to even read the script and turns it down. So she's completely charmed by him in Deauville at the Deauville Film Festival in France, where there's a retrospective of his work. So you can see why he's kind of a charming rogue, and the fact that he does have brilliant filmmaking behind him totally enamors the character of Rachel.
Yes.
And her desire to want to take on the film role.
Yeah. And I guess so much identified with it in the sense that I had 5 daughters, and if I would have mined my family Well, my daughters are interesting enough. I could have written several screenplays about them. So I could understand that. I could understand the sincerity with which he wanted to have his daughter join him in this film, even though there are multiple reasons, including bringing him back to the game again.
There is. There's also deep-seated mental health or emotional health issues within the family that I think the script enables him to explore, particularly the death of his mother.
Yes, and she was suicide?
Yes.
It appears.
It
right.
appears that she died by suicide 15 years after she was held prisoner during World War II because she had fought for the resistance.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
as one can imagine, in a Nazi prison, she was not treated very well and was actually tortured. So there's a lot of baggage, emotional, that comes with the character of Gustav from his own past, not just his relationship with his daughters and his failed marriage with their mother.
It reminds me too, Skarsgård is probably the most prominent Norwegian actor, or the one that the world knows most best of all.
I would say Nordic actor because he's actually Swedish.
That's right. That's right. Good. Thank you. And his two sons have been. I'm dying to cough. Two sons are prominent actors, including more famous probably than Dad now is the son who plays It in the Stephen King adaptation.
Peter Skarsgård?
No. I think Peter is one.
Peter
yes,
is one,
he's
yeah.
a more classical actor. But this young one plays the kind of monstrous.
There's too many Skarsgårds. He has 8 children.
He does, yeah. But anyway, so the names are, and so he's spawning a couple of very important actors. But anyway, he's just got a gravitas about him.
He does.
You know, and I love his younger daughter who appeared in The Ugliest and the Worst Person in the World, I think was the other movie.
The worst person in the world.
Right, yes.
Renata Reinsfeld
I know.
plays the oldest daughter, Nora.
Yeah, so Trier is coming through too with this one. And if you want a movie that you just sit there, relax, and absorb and enjoy without this is not a horror film.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all. This is a rare, intimate portrait of relationships between father, daughter, sisters, our ancestors, our parents, and and not only is it an intimate portrait in terms of the scenes we see between them, but also the way the scenes are shot. You're very much with them up close, personal.
Yes.
There's a lovely scene between the younger sister Agnes and Nora, who they talk after reading the script about their dynamic as sisters and why Agnes was able to get married and have a child and
Yes.
have more of a stable, normal life as opposed to Nora, who has never been able to do that and is an actress,
Yes.
both film and stage, and apparently very successful.
TV particularly. Yeah.
And but they are in tears. They're hugging each other. They're telling each other they love each other, and it's a beautiful, intimate scene.
Yeah.
And you don't see them necessarily always from far away, hugging each other. They're talking on Renata's bed, and one of them's laying down, one of them's sitting down with her head up over the edge of the bed, and then they get together and hug, and you see just their faces as they're hugging each other, and it's really a beautiful, tender scene that shows, as different as these women are, even though they were raised in the same family dynamic, how much they needed each other in order to get to where they are today. And it's really beautiful.
And the way you're describing it reminds me of the influence of Ingmar Bergman on all of them. And actually, in the beginning, I saw some Woody Allen, and I know that he was moved by Ingmar Bergman as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see the three of them coming together. And I still love Woody Allen's work And for some of the reasons you were just describing, there's a pace to it, a lingering, an ability to get right to the actors and the characters. But yes, Woody's genius is to have comedy. I don't think there's any comedy in this.
There are a few funny, genuinely funny, laugh out loud moments in this, but not primarily. It's not used as a device to move the film or the characters of the story forward. The devices that are used are the go to black scenes when we're
Wonderful cuts.
transitioning.
Yes.
And they're not just quick cuts, you literally go to black for several
Yes,
seconds.
right, right.
And it's because you're moving between character stories, and you're moving between time.
Wonderful.
The one device that was used by the filmmakers that I didn't appreciate and felt it was out of context is they have one scene where the faces morph between father, daughter several times.
Yes.
And it's so out of context, I felt, for how the rest of the film is made. I really felt that it's a beautiful film, but to me that was in error.
It
to include
remind
that.
me that currently on YouTube and probably TikTok and so on, they have these vignettes that have, say, an actor and then going back through the ages. They de-age them, and they say, or they may start there and say, this is what Robert Redford looked like then, and then they'll take you back to when he is, and they're walking side by side. It's ingenious, but tonally, you don't want it in a film, nor you
No,
want what you're
and
talking about. It's so disruptive.
It's just not in the character of the rest of the film.
Right,
It just
right.
kind of shows up, and you're like,
All right,
you're
Mary
giving yourself a Scooby-Doo moment. Huh?
Mary Yerina, the film is something of value. I think I got that.
Sentimental value.
And I look to you for that, of course. Mary, the movie is Sentimental Value. What do you recommend?
This is a beautiful film about family relationships and the messiness of life, and it's worth a trip to the cinema, and it's worth reading the subtitles.
Yes, it surely is. And if you want to hear more of our blather, you surely want to hear more about what Mary has to say, you'll have to go to our podcast, which is, in this case, Back Talk. You have to go to WCBE.org and look at the podcast experience.